It's our big Friday show on KGO 810. Mark Thompson here. We are so excited. I know. It's been really fun. And this guy, you can find him there at on Polk Street at the Royal Grounds. It's sort of his home away from home, his remote office doing his thing. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Yes, when it comes to those things of the cultural nature, the movies, the streaming, the music, he's Michael Snyder. He joins us in the studio. Hello, sir.
Hey, happy day after Bastille Day, everybody.
You speak French fluently.
Oui, petit peu. This is, by the way, fun fact, this is traditionally the day when Parisians attack their local supermarkets with stale baguettes and croissants to protest the rising price of Nutella. You may not know this, but Viva la Revolution! There is a lovely Bastille Day celebration down in Petit Paris in the center city near the corner of Bush and Grant, and I generally go. The pandemic has changed that a little bit, and this year I thought big, mass of sweaty people. The outbreak in the French community of ratatouille pox made it so
come on, ratatouille pox. There you go.
All right. So anyway,
what do you have for us today, Michael Snyder, Culture Blaster?
We're going to talk about movies. The Gray Man is the latest star-powered action-adventure movie by the Russo brothers, whose work for Marvel Studios has included the best of the Captain America movies and two dazzling Avengers blockbusters. And the Russos have come a bit more down to earth with The Gray Man, although it is a globe-spanning, explosion-heavy espionage movie that features outrageous action sequences, including like a massive multi-vehicle chase through the streets of Prague, including a careening streetcar. No one wears a cape, and bullets do pierce the flesh.
Wow, it feels very Bourne Identity.
Well, anyway.
You didn't like the Bourne Identity?
No, thank you. Listen, I got to say, the main protagonist and primary antagonist, played respectively by Ryan Blade Runner Gosling and Chris Captain America Evans, seem to be able to keep shooting, stabbing, and punching despite all the blood spilled, including their own. So Gosling is court gentry, and this guy is an efficient anti-heroic killer for the CIA who was recruited from prison by a now ex-spy master played by Billy Bob Thornton. But the new guy at Langley, and get this, played by Bridgerton hunk Regé Jean Page, I guess his first serious movie role that we get any wind of here, he needs to get his hands on a crucial item, the MacGuffin, if you will. And if that means taking down CIA operatives in the process, so be it. Thus, the amoral new spy master is willing to actually hire a super sadistic independent contractor played by the bulked up Evans with a mustache and a sneer and have him basically dispose of anyone in the way, good guy or bad, even an innocent adolescent girl who gets caught in the crossfire. Speaking of female energy, the lovely Ana de Armas is on board as another CIA operative, although she nearly gets lost in the frenzy. Look, this has its moments, and the various locales, including Bangkok and the aforementioned Prague, add some spice, although it goes on and on. And
aforementioned is a ding word.
Okay. We've seen this sort of thing before. You mentioned Bourne Identity. This is Born Again. I don't know. The Russos really know how to shoot a violence fest for the big screen experience, and it shows. If it was better and more original, I wouldn't be saying, hey, it'll be on Netflix next weekend. Oh, wait, I just said it. One more note. The script is based on what I believe is the first of author Mark Greeny's Gray Man novel, suggesting that sequels are intended. No rush, guys. Okay?
Wow.
In theaters now, on Netflix next weekend. All right, now for a total 180. Okay? Yeah. Leslie Manville, the fine English actress of a certain age, stars in a charming bit of period of whimsy, the feel-good drama Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, based on the beloved 1958 novel Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris by Paul Gallico. Manville is, of course, Mrs. Harris, a kindly widowed cleaning lady in London during the 1950s. Her clients range from an obnoxious rich lady to a struggling actress, and despite them all taking advantage of her, she loyally does all she can for them. until she decides to do something for herself. She sees a beautiful Dior gown, and longing for a bit of glamour in her drab life, she saves up until she can afford to go to stylish post-war Paris and purchase a one-of-a-kind haute couture creation at the actual House of Dior. Complications ensue, including a run-in with the Dior operations manager, played in frosty fashion, get it, by French megastar Isabelle Huppert. A friendship with a heart-stoppingly beautiful but brainy model played by newcomer Alba Baptista. And I got to tell you, this woman almost brought tears to my eyes. She's so beautiful.
Wow.
And an assist from a young, handsome, and helpful DR middle manager played by Lucas Bravo from Emily in Paris. He's Emily's crush on that show. You get Lambert Wilson and Jason Isaacs. They also make impressions in supporting roles. Directed and co-written by Anthony Fabian, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris is a sweet-natured couple of hours spent in a simpler era with a decent main character brought to vivid life by the always wonderful Leslie Manville. It's in theaters.
Wow, that sounds like it is a tonic for all that ails us.
Right. There was a movie that I was thinking about reviewing about a father with a terminal illness who goes on a final road trip with his daughter, and I said, don't bum the people out,
Thank
Michael.
you. I really need that Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. What's next?
In the third novel adaptation being covered today, right, 1, 2, 3, we have Where the Crawdads Sing, a slightly muddled, mildly overheated mix of mystery and drama going down amid the isolated marshlands of North Carolina. In case you haven't figured out the situation, that's where the crawdads sing, okay? That's exactly where it happens. Anyway, that's also where Kaya, the heroine of the movie, and Delia Owens' book, Delia, her name is Delia Owens. I haven't read the book. This is where Kaya lives alone in harmony with nature and all its creatures. And Shades of Mrs. Harris, it's also set in the 1950s, although the Carolina marshlands in no way resemble the Champs-Elysees, so get that out of your mind. Anyway, Kaya, played with fire, spunk, and a deep well of sadness by Daisy Edgar Jones, is a young woman who was abandoned as a child by her abused mother and alcoholic father, and despite that tragic situation, she raised herself in the swamps with a little support from a noble husband and wife in charge of the grocery store in the nearby town of Barkley Cove. Although derided as Marsh Girl by many of the locals, Kaya's no primitive. She's plucky, self-taught, smart, and pretty, as well as a talented artist whose meticulous drawings of marshland flora and fauna attract the interest of a publisher, and she's good-looking enough to attract the interest of a couple of suitors, one of whom ends up dead, putting her in legal peril. It's a good thing a local lawyer, played by David Strathairn, is willing to defend her. Daisy Edgar Jones is compelling as Kaya. She's got skills. As for the movie itself, it's made with care by director Olivia Newman, and definitely a cut above what Lifetime or Hallmark dramas might have been with this Marsh Girl story. And it's a less obnoxious babe in the backwoods drama than the Jodie Foster movie Nell. You remember that with the crazy talking?
Right, yeah, they try to get her to talk,
Look, this is uneven in its perspective and execution. Not bad, but just not very memorable. Where the Crawdads Sing is in theaters.
You have time for one more quickie.
Bang it out. Perhaps my favorite new release this week is She Will, a haunting, under-the-radar blend of supernatural weirdness and female empowerment. Boy, I feel like I'm mansplaining all these movies. Mrs. Harris and then Kaya and now this. Anyway, it's the mansplaining hour. Okay. There's female empowerment, and it's all at a retreat in the Scottish countryside. Veronica Gent is an aging, seemingly retired actress with drama and trauma in her past, and she goes to the Scottish woodlands to recover from a surgical procedure accompanied by a hipster nurse. There's a group of annoying back-to-nature new agers. They're also at the retreat to the displeasure of the actress, who is being tormented by freaky dreams and bad memories of her experiences acting in a movie when she was an adolescent, when strange, inexplicable things begin happening. Could it be because the area was where women were burned as witches in the distant past? What do you think, Mark? Could it?
Yikes.
Anyway, what does an older, venerated actor back in London have to do with any of this? You can find out by watching the film. Cheers to the imperious Alice Krieger, who kills it as the actress. The old Droog.
Imperious is a ding word, by the way, Chris.
Get the old Droog himself, Malcolm McDowell, as the elderly actor back in London, and director, co-screenwriter Charlotte Colbert, who has made an impressive, atmospheric first feature film with She Will, which is in theaters and also available for streaming on demand.
Wow. He did the job today. Check this out. She Will, the one you just heard about, Veronica Gent going to the Scottish woodlands to recover from some surgical thing.
We don't want to say what the surgery is, but remember, this is a feminist tract under the surface.
I kind of figured it out. Tormented by the horrible dreams from her past. Malcolm McDowell's in it. He likes it. Michael really liked it.
I like haunting atmospheric movies.
You do. You've got to, you should see someone about that. Where the Crawdads Sing, set in the 1950s. Kaya, played by Daisy Edgar Jones. David Strathern's in the movie. Not bad. It's in theaters, but not spectacular. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. He loved it. It's a feel-good thing.
Charmant, as we say in French.
Leslie Manville, charming, feel-good. She plays a widowed cleaning lady, decides to go to Dior for fashion upgrade. It's big. It's in theaters and is worth the ride to the theater, he says. He likes it a lot.
It's date night for mom and dad. Anyway.
Right. Okay, it's The Gray Man from the Russo brothers, the espionage movie with Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling, Billy Bob Thornton.
Powerhouse cast.
Yeah. Anna de Armas. Regé-Jean Page. But wait for Netflix, he says.
Yeah, I mean, it's real. I experienced it in a big, booming theater with great sound, and I was pretty overwhelmed by it. But you know what? It's not. You've been there before.
No, man, disappointing. It seemed like an espionage flick with all that action could be a lot of fun.
You'll watch it on Netflix. I know you.
Read him in the Marina Times, and you can find him, as I say, knocking around at the Royal Grounds. He comes and goes on a rainbow. The Culture Blaster. Bye-bye, Michael.
Later, mes amis.